Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcomes you to my series Iconology and Temple Architecture Perspectives. So today's topic in this lecture is Jain Narayan Temple. We have got multiple lecture under this banner. We visit the temples, we analyze them in detail, we photograph them, we videograph them. The reason is very simple. We can bring it back to our office and see it in more detail, compare it with many other studies, many other pictures, many other monuments which resembles it, or if we are lack some information on site, we can gather that information once we come back. With this brief, let's get going to the topic. So today's topic is Jain Narayan Temple. It is at Pattadkkal. Now there are lot of temples in Aihoi, Pattadkkal and Badami, especially Aihoi and Pattadkkal, central as well as peripheral also. This temple is near Pattadkkal. On its way, I had my stay in Badami, so on that way we have gone to this temple. Is one of a beautiful temple and really a feast or a treat to find out how much beautifully they were decorating temples even at the time of around 1500 backs. The Jain temple was built during the 9th century, possibly with sponsorship from the Rashtrakuta. They were king powerful at that time, and that also King Krishna II or the Kalyani Chalukyas. This is an overlapping phase in which this temple was constructed, and both the Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas have supported Jainism. So it is quite possible partially or completely either of them. Unlike the other 9 temples of the Pattadkkal, the Jain Narayan temple lacks Hindu deities and indicate panel like other 9 temples, but instead has a statue or a Jaina carved into the north side, that is Kapota cave. So in the Kapota cave on north side there is a carving of Jainism. That's why this is called as the Jain temple, though it externally resembles to its lot of surrounding temples of the Pattadkkal, but still it is considered as a Jain temple. Built in dravidian style, the temple has a large Mukha Mandapa followed by Ranga Mandapa and Sanctum. Built on the elevated platform, the Mukha Mandapa has 16 round shaped pillars, and they are not heavily decorated as other temples of the Aihoi or Pattadkkal, but they are fairly decorated. The life-size elephant status on both sides of Dwaraway or Dwarapalas, the elephant in a place of Dwarapalas welcomes you and the tourist. The Mukha Mandapa has stone bench and a back support to take some rest, wait some time in the temple, spend some time, think of the olden time, think of the peace, and then you really realize why the temples were constructed, and after so many years also why they retain their position. The outer wall of the back support have a nice carving of human figure, then some dwarfas there, then Sukhanidhi and Padmanidhi and Kalasas. These are the Sanskrit words, but they needs to be in same way. The Ranga Mandapa has 4 pillars. They are heavy but plain. The Antarala is supported by 2 pillars. The Sanctum has Pradakshana Patha, unlike Jain temples. So there is a Pradakshana Patha which is enclosed, and most interesting aspect is the crocodile arch of the Sanctum. Now this is a typical Dravidian structure. Crocodile is Dravidian structure which usually reflects to the temple construction before 13th century. The sanctum houses a small Shiva Linga with which might have been placed after Jainism diminished in this region. So it is happening in lot of temples that earlier which were Hindu temples were converted to Jain temples, and which were Jain temples, the subsequent it was some Hindu temple. The Ranga Mandapa and the sanctum have lattice window and outer wall are decorated with wall brackets. It is a three-storied temple with the two lower stories still functional. So out of it is three-storied, two are working, one is in a dismantle stage. The square Garbhagriha houses an image of a Parshvanatha, that is a Jainism. The adjoining Andrala runs into a mandapa, and finally a beautifully pillared Mukha Mandapa graces the visitors. The circumambulatory path, though with collapsed wall, is also present. The superstructure is built in southern Vimana. Viman is a Kalash, not Kalash. It is the full Shikhara. Kalash is a topmost portion with four-sided Amalaka at top. Again, Amalaka is the upper portion. On that there is either Kalasha or Stupika, and below that in South India we call this as Vimana, and North India we call this Kalasha. The plinth is decorated with triple mountings. The projection and recesses of the mandapan wall contain images of Jain in various postures. Among the figures, most of them are in meditation stage. So these are the Jainism influence. The pillars of the arch are partially left turned, and the doorway has either side an elephant with its rider. So that we'll see in the picture, two elephants on two sides of the door. A large figure of Makara crocodile in florid detailed markings the entrance to the Garbhagriha. So this is another striking feature. The enduring achievement of early Chalukya region in the field of architecture set the stage for future generations to develop their own vocabulary around certain basic attributes. So what we see here, all the mandir, they are given certain guidelines. They have to work on certain guidelines and they can have their own ideas. And there is no place better than Ihore and Pattadkkal, where you can find varieties of mixtures. Not only South Indian, North Indian, their mixture, vesaras, or they have developed own style. That's why by true sense it is called a laboratory. After well over the millennium, it takes on a new chapter, that an intermediate stage that found its continuity and elaborations in the latter year through the Western Chalukyas, that is 1973 to 1189, and especially Hoysala emperors. Hoysala also, they had their own style of temples, which we are going to see in our different lectures. They are a bit later. Their temples were beautifully carved, but on the later stage. From this way you reach the temple. This is taken from inside out. This is a sitting place, what we discussed. One must spend some time sitting over here. Think of the earlier glories. Think how they have preserved it. And think how much peace of mind you get by spending 5-10 minutes over there. This all is to be experienced. And whenever anyone sees such sights, please spend some time. Just sit there, close your eyes and think nothing. You will not feel like moving. Gorgeous, silent, peaceful, lovable. Your memories will still remain back. Since it is ASI protected site, you will find watchmen's protecting them. Now here you can see the stages in which the temples are developed. As we have already mentioned, Western Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas have contributed for it. So this temple was going on for many years, the construction was going many years. Look at the jali or lattice, that window. This design of jali, or what you can, is a stone in which you have put small openings, is a signature of Chalukyans. You will find it at a lot of places, and I told you no two can match each other, they will be different. That's another beautiful art. And thinking of the new variety, these are the beautifully carved. These are the elephants on the either side of the door. The elements are also having ornaments. Both side elephants, slightly different, but they are almost of a life size. This is a shrine, you can see Shiva Linga in it. Some reconstructive work by archaeology department. They are doing very good job in preservation of all these things. Especially if we see many of the old pictures of either Durga Mandir or that of the Hampi, we really appreciate these people, how much restoration they have done to all these old treasures. But still, it will need a lot more. With that, we are coming to the end of this lecture. It was a small presentation. Once we go to Aihoi, once we go to Pattadkkal, not only Pattadkkal main temple complex, Aihoi Durga complex is important, but the surrounding temples are equally glorious. Do visit them. Thank you, goodbye and take care.